How to let go of weak energy and step into your unstoppable power, building that Savage Nation mindset. Welcome to episode 15 of the Savage Nation podcast. Stick with me to the end where I'm going to share the most valuable lessons in today's podcast, as well as listen to this at 1.5, or 2x speed to condense your rate of learning. If you want to learn more information, condense your rate of learning by speeding up this podcast so you can stick with me to the very end if you are busy. All right, there is value in learning slow, but sometimes you got to learn fast. So, going into it, guys, we're going to be covering two very important books, Power versus Force and Letting Go. All right, Letting Go by David R. Hawkins. All right, this is not the atheist, right? This is he's a spiritual guy. This is his main book. If you guys are familiar with um Power versus Force, right? There's a lot of very successful business owners and influencers that really promote Power versus Force. We're going to cover the principles from this book. Highly recommend you get this book. All right, it's going to teach this is kind of like the Bible of the philosophy. And then this right here is the most valuable second book on actually how to use the principles from Power versus Force to transcend the levels of consciousness and lower frequencies, lower emotions to really just live at a higher state of being, mindset, consciousness, and emotions and really get better results in relationships, finances, business, your dreams and goals, everything you want by utilizing frequencies and states of consciousness versus just going at it with a physical based mindset. So, enemy again, guys, you guys remember this. Enemy is average is the enemy and savage is the new standard, right? It comes to our emotions, our mindset, and our consciousness as well. The enemy is lower emotions. The enemy is lower consciousness. The enemy is a lower mindset, right? Savage is living in the higher emotions of abundance, love, grace, abundance, right? Living in higher frequencies, closer to God, one with God, right? Savage is being at these higher levels of mindset, emotions, and frequencies and consciousness versus average is living in grief and depression and sadness and blaming the world and just being stuck. Right. So this is going to be for you rebels, you leaders that refuse to stay soft, small. This isn't just motivation. This is your wake up call to rise to power. And today we're going deep, deep, deep. Again, highly recommend you guys buy these books. All right. Let me know in the comments if you do. And again, listen to this at 1.5 or 2x speed to get through this faster, as well as stick with me to the end because now we're going to get into the value here. So I'm breaking down exactly what it means to let go of lower frequencies, lower emotions, basically weakness, and step into your power, step into your savageness, right? With the lessons from David H. Hawkins, all right, in Power versus Force, the book Power versus Force and Letting Go, right? Again, guys, I've read hundreds of books, all right? We're going to go deep into these two that we're talking about today that gives you the energy to build empires, heals trauma, creates freedom, and awakens nations. Right? That's how we're going to raise these frequencies, these emotions where people, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, your kids, your coworkers, your clients, people are going to notice. This is a no BS, straight to the point. We're going to get to it. So again, 15 minutes, stay with me to the end because it's going to change your fucking life. Let's go Savage. So I want to share something personal with you guys. Uh, when I really got into these books, because I read these books years ago when I graduated high school. This one I was recommended from a personal development business guru, Patrick Bet David. Patrick Bet David, it came to me. Patrick Bet David, if you guys are familiar, Patrick Bet David, he recommends this book. And so I got this, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago. And I remember reading this one as well because my mom is more into Eastern religion, Hinduism, Buddhism, chakras, you name it, right? Um, and so I had some sort of influence from her. I have a high degree of openness, right? That you have a conservative, right? And I'm not talking about political beliefs, but you have conservative and you have openness, right? It's the O in the hexacore score. You rate this on a 0 to 100. People who are typically more, and again, this isn't related to politics, it's more conservative in their religious beliefs. So Islam, Christianity, uh, people who are lower in openness are typically like more structured, old-fashioned religion. And going into my testimony, you guys can check it out on this YouTube channel, but I'll create more episodes on it. But I used to be a part of a demonic cult for a few years, and and at the time I had a Catholic girlfriend, and that's actually related to the story that I'm about to go into. And she was going to a Christian college. She converted from Catholicism to Christianity. I'm very familiar with all of the stuff and the church history, Protestants, Catholicism, 100%. So she went to a Christian college. And she gave me an ultimatum because we're a little bit over a year being together. She's like, you need to leave this demonic cult or we're not going to be together anymore. And there's a whole bunch of different factors that ended up me leaving the demonic cult. But I ended up leaving the demonic cult, moving from San Jose to Los Angeles, to move with her. And I converted to being a Jesus freak, gun ho Christian, saved by Jesus Christ, right, our Lord and Savior. And I went hardcore Christian for 4 years. Um, and I ended up going to Christian College, Biola University in La Mirada, Bible Institution of Los Angeles. And I went for 1 semester for pastoral preaching because that's how I roll. So, very familiar. I've read the whole Bible 3 times. But anyway, that's not the purpose of this podcast. Typically, people who are lower in openness typically reside with the Abrahamic religions, either with Islam or Christianity or Catholicism, even if those are different, Christianity and Catholicism, but they reside in one of those religions, right? People who are higher in openness, right? Typically more adventurous, more curious, more want, read thousands of books and travel the world and talk to a million different people who are higher in openness and have a higher degree of curiosity, typically don't reside as much into those conservative structure-based religious beliefs. They're more open to Eastern religions, Eastern philosophies, and even newer age religious practices. So anyway, that aside, what's related to this story is the reason I got really into these books about a year ago, last summer, last June, July, August 2024, is I was doing door-to-door sales in Salt Lake City, Utah, for pest control, because the goal was to make 100K in in the summertime, busting my ass doing door-to-door sales. And I was still running my coaching business, still had about maybe a dozen or so clients throughout the entire process. For you guys who are interested in coaching, you guys can click the link below, apply there, or book a call with me or message me at Devencripe if you're interested in Savage Tribe or Savage Training or mentorship. You can click the link below or message me there. But so I was doing door-to-door sales for Salt Lake City and Utah for one of my old mentors. His name's Adam. It's over $100 million company. And I don't regret it because I learned so much doing that whole job. But anyway, me and that girlfriend that we were talking about that I left the demonic cult, moved to Los Angeles with her, going to Christian college, right? Um, we broke up. We were long distance for just about 2 years, and really I initiated it as a man should. Um, and it really hit me hard. It's breakups are typically a lot harder for men than they are for women. And so anyway, that set me into the spiritual journey of really healing, and not identifying myself with a relationship or a business or financial or materials or anything. It led me down a whole spiritual journey. And so anyway, that's why I really got into these books, guys. And so what I'm going to share with you today, we're going to do a longer podcast. We'll go, let me know in the comments below or message me if you guys would like to hear more about lessons from these books, Power versus Force and Letting Go. But I just want to go into the two main principles. So the main, there obviously there's a lot to this, right? But knowledge without action means nothing, right? So the main thing I want to give you guys is the frequency chart. So if you guys are familiar with like Wes Watson or Tony Robbins or I've worked one-on-one with Wes Watson for a year in his business mentorship program. That was about four years ago. Tony Robbins, I'm part of his Ultimate Life Mastery program right now. It's a $40,000 program. I'm paying roughly around 20K to go to all of his events, and I have multiple mentors. But they kind of teach a similar thing with this frequency chart. All right. So what you're going to see, you guys can Google this. Google David H. Hawkins frequency chart. Again, David H. Hawkins frequency chart. So what you have is you have the lower levels of frequency at we'll just go here. Shame, guilt, empathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. Pride, anger, desire, fear, grief, empathy, guilt, shame. These are lower frequencies, lower states of emotions, lower states of consciousness. And they actually rate what these frequencies to the 10th power are 175, 150, 125, 20, 30, right? Low, they rate based off. He goes really in depth on what that even means. I'm not going to go into it now. Um, but you have these lower state of frequencies, okay? Where it pivots is courage. Courage is rated at 200 to the 10th power. The affirmation is empowerment, right? And your life view is it's feasible, and your God view is it's permitting. That's your view of God is permitting. So anyway, courage is the pivoting point from negative emotions, negative frequencies, negative states of consciousness to higher states of consciousness, emotions, and frequencies. So, all right, because you're basically saying I can change. I can change my life. I can change my relationship with God. I can read more books. I could start a business. I can do something, right? You're having the courage to no longer just blame and yet to take courage to change, right? And then you go into higher level states of emotions, frequencies, consciousness. I'm using these words because whatever relates to you more, they're very similar in what we're talking about right now. Um, so you have neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, aka logic, which is calibrated at 400. Next level, love, calibrated at 500 to the 10th power. Next level, joy. Ah, my God, oh my God. Next frequency, peace. I'm one with Jesus. Then you have enlightenment, 700 to 1000, calibrated at 700 to 1000 to the 10th power. Your life view is. Your God view is self. The kingdom of God is within. I'm one with God. I am the Son of Man, just like Jesus was enlightened. Even arguably Buddha had a very similar enlightenment. It's a whole conversation. We can get debates. Drop in the comments, blow it up. All right. Process, pure consciousness is where you're at. So the whole idea is this book goes really in depth on how this applies to every single aspect of your life. Again, these states of frequencies, emotions, and consciousness. All right. And you want to live not in lower states of frequency and consciousness, but in higher states of frequencies, consciousness, and emotions. Now, letting go teaches. So that's kind of like, let's say it's your foundation. You understand the philosophy, you understand the principle. It's even maybe a tool in your toolkit for sure. This is like another tool. Like, if that's the drill gun, this is the machine gun or the chainsaw, right? Or the hammer, right? If this is the screwdriver, this is the hammer, right? This is how to go through it through the process of letting go. So this whole book goes through how you transcend from, let's say, grief to depression, from depression to fear, from fear to desire, from desire to courage, from courage to acceptance, from acceptance to reason, from reason to love, from love to joy, from joy to peace, peace to enlightenment. Oh my Jesus. Okay, is through the process of letting go, right? Which is a meditation prayer process of like examining those thoughts and more importantly is examining those emotions, those frequencies within you that are feeling the fear, feeling the grief, feeling the depression, feeling the anger, feeling the desire. You look at it, you realize I am not that. I am not these emotions. I'm not identifying with these emotions. I see this anger within me. I see this desire within me. I see this and I'm gonna let go. Completely surrender, completely let go. Surrender it to God, surrender it to Jesus, surrender it to whatever you believe. Just surrender that emotion, that frequency, okay? And just by the process of getting good at letting go, you automatically transcend to the next level. So if you're at fear, if you let go of fear, you'll transcend to anger. If you truly transcend to anger, you can let go and be at courage. If you transcend courage, you can be at acceptance. If you transcend acceptance, you can be at willingness. Transcend willingness, you can be at reason. Reason to love, love to joy, joy to peace, peace to enlightenment. Now, really, if you got really good at it, you can automatically realize, oh, grief, enlightenment. Depression, enlightenment. You can go, okay, let me go from anger to love. Let me go from fear to courage, right? You can transcend these, you can skip them and transcend at higher levels. So Obviously, check out David H. Hawkins on YouTube to explain more. He's the one that has this whole philosophy and, created it. Um, at least based off the power versus force and letting go. Highly recommend checking out these books. Drop in the comments below. Let me know if you guys would like me to create more book podcasts and videos like this going over specific books. Again, I've read hundreds and 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 hundreds of books. Um, and these ones are too profound on a spiritual level, per se. So drop in the comments below if you want me to go more in depth on those specifically. If you actually bought the books, let me know if you want me to make more content or podcasts like this. Other than that, like, comment, share, 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 share. Don't be narcissistic or selfish. Share this with your family and friends. And yeah, I would like to invite you guys, all of you guys watching this. We cover stuff like this in the Savage Tribe and within my Savage training and mentorship. It's not just abs and biceps. It's not just fat loss. It's not just, building healthy habits, breaking bad habits like porn, weed, alcohol, sleeping in, staring at your phone, waking up early, eating healthy, reading books, praying, meditating, losing body fat, building muscle. Like, we do more than that. We cover things about not only reaching your fitness and health goals so you can have more energy, be a high performer, and thrive, right? We go over stuff about raising your mindset, your frequency, your emotions, right? So you can conquer the world, so you can create breakthroughs in romance and relationships and love and happiness and wealth and finance and business and health and every area, right? And then also living a life of purpose. We get you aligned with living a life of purpose, finding your purpose and living a life of purpose and making more money, right? Going from average to savage, right? So there's so many different things that we cover. If you guys are interested in that, you can message me at devencripe, devencripe, devencripe on Facebook or Instagram. Connect with me there, or schedule a call below, or apply for the programs below. Or guys, I have plenty of free resources on mindset, on workouts, on nutrition, on macros, on meal plans in the description and other episodes of the Savage Podcast. Check those out below. I know this is a little bit less intense than a usual episode, but that's how we were feeling today after reading those two books this morning and doing some prayer and meditation. So, all right, guys, I love you. I love you. I love you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. And I'll see you next time. Average is the enemy, and savage is the new standard in every single area of life. Mindset, emotions, fitness and health, business, money, relationships. Average is the enemy, and savage is the new standard. All right, guys, share, 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 share. Drop in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time. I love you. God bless. Peace.